Alright, this video is for the spiritual people that still believe it's a globe. Okay, I was an atheist for 32 years, and the main reason for that is the globe Earth. I fully believed in the space and the theories and physics and all this, that we're taught in school. And it wasn't until January of this year, when I met my twin flame, that I finally woke up to spirituality. And a few months later, after I woke up spiritually, I was being fed flat earth videos on my feed, and I was getting fed up with seeing them. I'd scroll past them quickly, and I wouldn't give them the time of day to even hear it out. I just still believed it was a globe. So I know it's possible to be spiritual and still think it's a globe, but that's just not reality. So after I became really annoyed with seeing flat earth videos on my feed, I decided to go and prove them wrong. And I've discovered that they weren't wrong this whole time. And now I fully understand the earth is flat, and if you're spiritual, you should realize that that makes a lot more sense than the globe model anyway. With the constellations being what they are, constant stellations. They have never moved in the thousands of years of history that we have, not once. There's ancient structures built specifically showing that they understood where the constellations and the stars are all the time. It's a repeating cycle. And once people understand the earth is flat and there's a dome holding in the atmosphere, there's no way you can be an atheist, because that didn't happen by random chance. That is evidence of a creator right there. And that is exactly why we need to spread awareness to this, because if everybody understands the earth is flat, there'll be no atheists, there'll be a lot more love in the world, there'll be less hate, and we can work towards a better future for everybody. And for those who aren't necessarily spiritual, but you believe in the Bible or the Quran or many other books, you'll notice that in the Bible and the Quran specifically, it mentions the flat earth. The Bible mentions a firmament and the earth taking shape like clay under a seal. The Quran mentions the earth taking shape like a carpet stretched out. We've been told this and shown this in many pictures throughout all of ancient civilizations that depict a flat earth with a dome over it. There's only been since NASA that we've all decided there's a globe and we're a meaningless speck of dust in outer space, and we weren't put here for a purpose. But we were. We were created for a reason. All I'm asking for is for you to go and do the research yourself. Don't just trust me, don't just trust the government, trust yourself, trust your own senses. That's all I want to say, and I really hope you have a great day. Much love.
You're right, our current day Bibles don't directly say the words flat earth. Older Bibles did, that's been taken out, but let's take a look at the verses that prove flat earth in our current day Bibles. I'm going to be using the ESV version. I know a lot of people in this community like Ethiopian, Geneva, and the KJV because they directly use the terms firmament and stuff like that, but I think ESV is the most widely read one, so I'm going to be working with that one. God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters. And God made the expanse and separated the waters that were under the expanse from the waters that were above the expanse." So this is what basically all ancient religions thought the cosmos looked like. You have the waters below, basically like a bubble, and then the waters above. Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. So from this one, you can assume that if you're standing on a very tall mountain, that doesn't mean that you can see all of the kingdoms of the world. That would only be possible on a flat plane. This one says, "After this, I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds of the earth." So we get a ton of 4 corners references in the Bible. I want you to question if a ball can have corners. We also get a ton of the phrase ends of the earth throughout the Bible. And God said, "Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of all the earth." This is another phrase we see all throughout the Bible, the face of the earth. Think about the face of a watch. "Heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky above proclaims his handiwork." Now I want you to take note. The ESV version swaps out firmament for sky above. Firmament is that dome covering that we always talk about in flat earth. He set the earth on its foundation so that it should never be moved. Again, back to the ancient depiction, it's on a foundation that will never move. "It is changed like clay under the seal, and its features stand out like a garment." This is what they're referencing. Does this look like a ball? Those were just a couple off the top of my head. If you get into the book of Enoch, it's basically a flat earth / biblical earth book. Like the entire thing just covers how the earth works. And of course, a lot of people are going to say that it's like a fake book. I totally disagree. It wasn't fake until they introduced the globe model, and then all of a sudden all of the books that were more mystical disappeared from the Bible. Let me know if you guys want more stuff like this. I'd be happy to do it. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Now, is it just me, or does anyone else find this a little weird? This is Wernher von Braun, which is known as the father of NASA. He's also the one that led NASA's development of the Saturn V rocket that allegedly took Apollo 11 to the moon. We never went to the moon. Oh guys, this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say they love to put the truth in plain sight. And when he passed away, he left a Bible quote on his tombstone, Psalms 19, verse 1. And it reads, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork." Now my only problem with this is, why would a dude that believes in space put a Bible quote talking about the firmament, which directly contradicts space? Well, maybe because he knew we lived under a firmament. But what does NASA mean in Hebrew? To lead astray, to delude, to beguile or deceive. But have you ever thought to yourself, what is this red thing going through NASA's logo? What is that? Well, let me show you. Have you guys ever noticed that when they do their launches, they always say T minus? Or that time they put, you know, in the clouds? But it's all just one big coincidence, huh? And of course, all this was for entertainment purposes only. Of course, NASA doesn't mean to deceive in Hebrew. Of course, this doesn't spell what you think it is.
Yo, somebody in my town has put a flat earth billboard up. A flat earth billboard on the side of the highway? For real? No way, dude. The earth is flat, so is this sign. That's why it works. On the side of the highway, dude, in my town. Look, I'm not responsible for this. That's why it's so freaking cool. Yeah, somebody put up a flat earth billboard. What are the odds? Dude, I had to go on this journey. Look at this. Flat earth billboard on the side of the highway. I had to go on this journey. I thought I saw it. I wasn't sure. On my way home from work the other day, I'm riding with my boss, and he's like, "Did that sign just say what I thought it said?" And I was like, "I think so, bro." So I made it a point. Rain or shine, I was gonna come and see the flat earth billboard on the side of the highway. Research flat earth, y'all. We got people driving by knowing that the earth is flat now. I wonder if it'll wake some people up. Hopefully. They should have put a website in there to show you where you can find good information on it. Maybe a link to my page or something.
Do you really think Galileo saw the rings of Saturn with this thing right here?
Okay, so just to put this in perspective for you guys, this is a Nikon P1000 capable of 125 times magnification.
125.
125x.
Yeah.
Galileo and his little homemade wooden stick telescope. Yeah. Sorry, it cracks me up every time I think about it. This little wooden telescope with no focuser, mind you.
No focuser, just a stick.
The first one he made could only achieve 8 times magnification.
8x, dude. That's
8x.
My phone is way better
your
than that.
Your smartphone can zoom in further than that. His modified later version of his telescope, the improved version, went to like 14 or 20 times magnification. Supposedly, he saw the sunspots on the sun.
He saw the rings of Saturn.
The rings of Saturn.
I can barely see the rings with the P1000, dude.
And the moons of Jupiter with only 14 times magnification.
Yes.
Whenever this can achieve 125x.
125.
And another thing, how did he observe the sunspots on the sun before they ever invented a solar filter?
Yes, dude, it'll burn your eyes out,
it
man.
would have burned his eyes out.
I have to put a filter on this one, dude. And I can see the spots, but there's no way, in my opinion, entertainment purposes only, that he saw Saturn, man. And there's no way, dude.
If you attempt to look at the sun with a telescope, you will go blind in less than a second. It will literally burn your retina out of your eye.
My P1000 will show you.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So it just goes to show you, people don't think, they don't question what they've been taught. But you should. You really
man,
need
just
to.
Things like that, dude. A 14, I think it got up to, somebody said it got up to 20x at one time, but even 20x.
That's still nothing.
There's
compared
no
to that.
way he saw the rings of Saturn, dude.
This is 100 times more magnification
and I
than
can
what
barely
Galileo
see
had.
the rings, dude. I'm just saying, these are things y'all got to think about, man, when you're told stuff like that. I didn't think about it when I was younger, man, until a couple years ago. Like, wait a minute.
Not to mention, there was a few engineers that tried to reconstruct and make a replica of Galileo's telescope. There were huge problems in the design. they couldn't get it to work. They couldn't get it to focus. So,
but he sees the rings and the moons and everything around Saturn, probably.
Yeah,
come on.
Galileo never discovered anything like they claim he discovered.
No, dude.
It's all fake history. It's all fake science, false science, which is pseudoscience.
Yes.
So,
1000%,
yeah.
man. Well, I just had to share that with y'all real quick while we were thinking about it and talking about it, man. Y'all have a good night.
Y'all have a good night.
That was a good one.
The easiest observation to disprove flat Earth, which covered the fact that if you view planes in the sky, either just after sunset or just before sunrise, you can often see the sun reflecting off the underside of the plane. And I explained how that can only happen if the light is coming up from below the plane's horizontal, which would prove that the sun is below the plane's horizontal and thus a globe, rather than a flat Earth where the sun would be above the plane.
Time to debunk this. Okay, did you know that the sun is actually setting behind this house here? It's far off that way. But how is the light on the front of the house if the sun is setting far behind it? Well, the sun is actually reflecting off of these windows and coming back to the front of this house. And if you'll notice, the shadow is downward, meaning that the sun, although it's setting, is still above everything here. You're wondering why you see sunlight on the bottom of a plane during sunrise and sunset when you live on a giant mirror. During sunrise and sunset, the angle would be just perfect to shoot light up and under an airplane. The window on a house caused an impossible observation. Imagine what an ocean would do, or just large bodies of water in general. You essentially live on a giant mirror with a very bright light circling around. Expect light to be coming in from all directions during sunset and sunrise.
So have you ever seen like clouds in the air, right? And think, how is that cloud suspended there, right? Like, how is the cloud just floating? And not only is the cloud floating, right? How much does it weigh, and why are all the bottoms level, right? It almost looks like they're sitting on like an invisible shelf of some sort, like they're on like some sort of table or level platform, right? I found it very interesting. Thought I'd ask some questions. So I thought I'd look up how much does an average cloud weigh, right? Like, shouldn't be too much. It's floating in air, right? We have gravity. There's no way to, I'm curious, right? It says after doing the math, an average kilometer by kilometer cumulus cloud weighs about 1.1 million pounds. What? Now, obviously, that made no sense to me, right? I'm a logical thinking person, and a little bit of common sense, a little bit in there. How does something that is 1.1 million pounds float in the air if we're on a globe and gravity, mass attracts mass and blah, blah, we're all, it's not making any sense, right? And then, obviously, on a flat Earth, everything is density and buoyancy, and has nothing to do with gravity because it's never been isolated. Then I saw this said, even though a cloud weighs tons, it doesn't fall on you because the rising air responsible for its formation keeps the cloud floating in air. Okay, well, how does it do that? Well, the air below the cloud is denser than the cloud. Thus, the cloud floats on top of the denser air near the land surface. So interesting. So it's almost like, the cloud, as it gets more dense, right, when the rain accumulates and becomes heavier, we get rain and now it falls down. But gravity's there the whole time. Why? It seems like it's only a matter of the density and the buoyancy in relation to the medium, which is air in this case. Gravity's, nowhere to be found. But I don't know, I'm sure it's just a coincidence. But if you're not one of those coincidence guys, right, it says the bottom of a cloud is typically flat because it marks the altitude where rising warm air cools enough to condense into visible water droplets, creating a consistent level across the given area, while the top is not flat because the air continues to rise and expand, because that's not the water, right? The water settles down, it's denser, goes flat, and it finds level. Even in air, everything is water, whether it be water, air, it's all a type of water. Some has more oxygen, some has more hydrogen, that's just how things are. Now, resulting in a puffy, fluffy appearance as a new cloud on top of the initial condensation level. So where the water is, we get a level, just like on the ocean. And then when the air and or gas cloud forms, the air can go above. And what do you know? Showing that a cloud is a perfect example of density and buoyancy in the relation of the surrounding medium. While gravity's present, but not doing anything.
People who smile before 9 a.m., flat earth theories, long-range weather forecasts.
It's almost 8 a.m. and I just woke up. And long-range weather plus flat earth, yeah.
You're going to get a fake alien invasion before you get Grand Theft Auto 6. Things are about to get very weird, and they're about to get very weird using technology that you don't know anything about. I was saying that this is the blackest, darkest technology that has been the most covered up. So much so that I probably can't even talk about it without getting flagged here on this app. You're going to be hearing a lot about UFOs and UAPs and aliens and whatever. There's a ton of faceless accounts that are popping up on these apps right now talking about UAPs. Everybody's got a UAP account, it seems. There's hundreds of them that have popped up as I swept through my For You page. They're all pushing propaganda. They're pushing propaganda about UAPs and UFOs, and they might be at the bottom of the ocean, like the movie The Abyss, or they might be living in the sky, or they might be plasmoids, they might be interdimensional entities, but nobody ever talks about how they might just be technology that imitates those things and can fake that.
So it looks like we're about to see the start of the next PSYOP, guys. Do not be fooled. Do not be fooled by all the reports that you're seeing of alien sightings, UFO sightings, jets being scrambled. This is all another PSYOP. It's another part of the movie that they're showing us in order to shoehorn us into doing things that we wouldn't normally want to do. So governments can play the savior in this fake alien invasion, but in order for them to do that, there will have to be more restrictions on our freedoms, probably a digital currency and a social credit score as well. They're getting desperate now, and they're using all kinds of tactics. Project Bluebeam, go and research it. This has been known for many years from alternative researchers that they're going to do this, so don't be fooled by all the UFO BS that you're going to see in the next few months.
It came in the mail and y'all are opening it with me. Ooh. Smell it. Woo! Here we go.
The Flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Idialenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.